The Reds are looking to bounce back after a disappointing road trip led them finishing 3-4 at the hands of the San Francisco Giants and the Texas Rangers. After a devastating pitching performance in the last game of the series, the Reds find themselves back home again today, facing the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Reds have a chance to get right and back to 500 in the series for the first time since the second game of the season, facing two lefties on the mound Friday and Saturday, and lastly, a relief pitcher turned starter on Sunday. The Reds have a solid chance to sweep the Pirates and get back to 500. More to come on Reds Access. Welcome to Reds Recap, your weekly Cincinnati Reds quick hitter format talk show covering major events and future series this week in Reds baseball. I'm your host, Colin Arter, and if you're a Reds fan like me, subscribe to me here on YouTube and be entered into a contest to win an authentic Reds MLB hat and $20 Skyline gift card when the Reds make the playoffs. Also, follow Reds Access on social media across most platforms at Reds Access. On Instagram, Reds_Access, and on TikTok at Reds Access Official. I'll be quick and short. The Reds couldn't finish the job against the Giants. I hate to say it, but I kind of expected it with the Reds. I'm not going to get all doomer today. I've got a lot to look forward to. At the end of the day, that road trip could have finished a lot worse, especially after starting out losing 3-4 against the Rangers. However, we didn't finish the job against the Giants, and now we're having to get business done against the Pirates. So let's look towards the Pirates then. You have my series preview up there. If you thought the Reds had great pitching, you might think the Pirates are the opposite. You can see the ERAs there. The Reds pitching staff has third best ERA in baseball. I think it's like 3.15. The Pirates are coming at the 20th ranked staff in baseball. And you see the Pirates with the same record as the Reds, and you see, oh, well, maybe it's their hitting. If you thought the Reds hitting was bad at a 206 average, the team of the Pirates is hitting 198. The Pirates have the 26th ranked OPS and the 30th ranked batting average in all of baseball right now. So if you thought the Reds had it bad, and don't get it wrong, we've got it bad. I mean, we're right above them in a lot of these categories. The Pirates have it way worse. The worst part for the Pirates is outside of O'Neal Cruz, they don't have a lot of young talent to build around Paul Skeens. If I'm a Reds fan, I'm looking towards McClain coming back. I'm looking at Sal Stewart in Double-A. I'm looking at guys around the field. Lux isn't old. Marte's up, but who knows where he is. Strand, Stevenson's not old. You look across the field, there's guys that can play that are young that are going to be contributors to the Reds team. There's guys in the minor leagues that will be contributors in the Reds teams in just over a year or sooner in Sal Stewart's case, we'll talk about shortly. The Pirates don't have that. So if you think being a Reds fan is bad, think about being a Pirates fan with no minor league system to speak of, and also a front office that won't spend more than one contract year on every free agent contract in like the last 20 years. Yeah, the Pirates have had a number in the postseason lately, and I can think back to a couple of times. But overall, man, I feel bad for Pirates fans out there, truthfully. With that said, let's make it worse. Let's sweep them. So let's jump into the series. So coming into the game, as I mentioned, Pirates really struggling. Reds need to capitalize. Unfortunately, Falter, the left-hander on the mound today for the Pirates, is a left-handed pitcher who the Reds have struggled with. And you'll see that, especially considering our health, with the lineup we're throwing onto the field today. So the Reds are throwing into the lineup, batting first at TJ Friedl with a 70 OPS plus. Let's go down the list here and see what really starts to fall apart. Funnily enough, Blake Dunn, who may have been the last outfielder on the roster starting the season, has worked his way into the starting lineup, rocking a 93 OPS plus and having a respectable year. Next is Elly De La Cruz and Spencer Steer, who's coming on lately, saying he feels much better. I believe he is now starting a throwing program again. After that, I have one of the worst qualified hitters in all of baseball in 2025 in Jeimer Candelario with a 5 OPS plus. Now, I'm going to pause for a second and talk about Jeimer Candelario. What do we do with Jeimer Candelario? Jeimer Candelario is 1 for his last 18 with 7 strikeouts. Jeimer Candelario currently is slugging 163. He is slugging 163. Jeimer Candelario has an OPS of 371. Jeimer Candelario is hitting 5th for the Reds today. I don't get it. What is the point of bringing up a guy like Noelvi Marte, who's a career 250 hitter against lefties, and or 257, It's his better side of the field, better side of the box, and he's on the bench. Why is he here? If you're waiting for Abbott to come back, and Hayes to come back, to send down Hurtubise and send down Marte right back into AAA, what's the point of having him here? You take a Marte that's hitting like 340 something in AAA across 40 at-bats, not striking out, obviously found a swing again, and what you've done is completely destroyed his confidence. So Jeimer Candelario with his 5 OPS plus and Santiago Espinal with his 53 OPS plus, given Santi's been playing a lot against right-handed pitching. That's not what he's supposed to be playing. I just don't understand the roster construction. So Jeimer Candelario hitting 5th. 6 is Strand, who's definitely been a funk lately and definitely is chasing a lot of pitches, but I still have a lot of faith in Strand to get right. He has one of the most powerful bats in baseball when he is healthy and when he is on his, in his mind, or out of his mind, rather, not swinging at a 50% chase rate. Next, we have Gavin Lux, who the Reds are trying to prove can be an everyday player against his career splits, which show he cannot hit left-handed pitching. Santiago Espinal, who should be in the lineup today, and Jose Trevino, who, despite me sitting here on our podcast and saying I did not think he was a solid hitting backup catcher and that we cannot rely on the offense of Jose Trevino, is now our highest OPS qualified hitter on our team. Of course, McLean's hurt, and he has like a 131 OPS plus, but Jose Trevino is your 2025 Reds most valuable hitter hitting in the 9 hole. It's a tough lineup. And let's jump back to Jeimer Candelario. What do you do with Jeimer Candelario? The Reds currently own over $30 million still, so you can't just get rid of the guy. So I look around and, let's say he's our utility guy then, or he's our DH, or you put him in the 7-8 slot and you say, hey, man, we've got guys around you. Who do we have around him? Let's talk playing Santiago Espinal at second base. Who plays instead of him? And how do you make Santiago Espinal your utility guy, who's undoubtedly better than Candelario? How do you change that up? How do you give Candelario that spot and not Santi? You can't. So what do you do with Jeimer Candelario? Hopefully we trade him. Hopefully we get rid of Jeimer Candelario around the All-Star break and we bring him for anything, a salary dump, throw a prospect on there and get somebody back, because he's just taking up a roster spot, especially considering when there's guys like Sal Stewart in AA right now, whose OPS is almost 900 points higher than Candelario's. Sal Stewart's currently hitting 444 in AA and has one of the most refined approaches to play I've ever seen from a AA player. Sal Stewart should be hitting his way onto the Major League roster right now. So that fixes Jeimer Candelario, but he's obviously not the, I guess it fixes it. I mean, who are you going to put there? Like, Sal Stewart has to go through 2 more levels of the minor leagues, or probably will. Doesn't have a 40-man roster spot. So who do you play there? You play Noelvi Marte. That's who you play. Noelvi Marte has proven it. Noelvi Marte has proven it year in and year out for the Cincinnati Reds, or rather his rookie year at least, that he's a big league ball player. Even last year, when you say, he played so terribly, he didn't play that terribly. Sure, he had a 49 OPS plus. So he was a 10-time better qualified hitter than Jeimer Candelario is. Put that in perspective. In 2024, Noelvi Marte was a 10 times more qualified hitter than Jeimer Candelario has been in 2025 so far. But in 2025 so far, Noelvi Marte is currently hitting 353 in AA or AAA with a 954 OPS. Get him in the game. He's only struck out 6 times in 40 at-bats in AA or AAA. Get him in the game. You've got him on the roster. Let him play. Switching Jeimer Candelario around to his worst side, not arguably the right side of the plate, isn't the solution here. It is not the solution. This is a tough game for the Reds. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is a tough game for the Reds. We've got TJ Friedl, Blake Dunn, Elly De La Cruz. That is the only good part of this lineup outside of Strand at 5 or Strand at 6. Steer, I hope, can get right today, and I hope he continues his hot streak. If that's the case, then I say 1 through 4 are awesome options. But 5 through 9 are really struggling right now, and this is not a high-scoring offense. So Brady Singer needs to have another great game. I hope this is a high-scoring offense today because they scored average, 11.5 runs when Singer's on the mound. I just don't know how feasible it is to do that every time Brady Singer goes out there. But there's 2 more games to the series, too. So going back to our first graphic, we're facing Heaney in the second game with a 1.5 ERA. 147 FIP, and a 277 ERA plus. That sounds more like Reds pitching. Now, also Heedy, of course, veteran. I believe he is left-handed. I guess let me look at that up really quick. I was going to say he's left-handed, but now I feel like, yeah, definitely left. So the Pirates are definitely loading up their lefties against us. So you won't see likely Marte play again tomorrow. Definitely won't see Benson play. And we'll get to Vincent shortly. Andrew Abbott is pitching for the Reds, who's making his season debut tomorrow. And that will be interesting because I cannot wait to see what the roster move is to add Abbott back to the roster. Of course, Abbott already has his 40-man spot, but somebody's going down. Is that Jacob Hurtubise? We're going to 5 outfielders, which would be the expected move. Or if you count Lux as an outfielder. Or are they going to send Marte down and keep 6 outfielders on the roster? Lastly, Hunter Green is going up against Mlodzinski, who is a guy that always struggled in the minor leagues throughout his career, comes up to the Pirates last year and really competes. I mean, really competes. I believe he had like a 3.87 ERA. Let me pull up the actual numbers. So, yeah, Mlodzinski last year, 3.91 or 3.38 ERA. My bad, 3.38 ERA. Only 1.18 whip. Overall solid year. And a guy that's competing for a roster spot. So far this year for the Pirates, he started both games, hasn't gone deep in either of them, and has a 5.19 ERA to start the year. Of course, he's not had a bad year, 2.05 FIP, 81 ERA plus. But he is facing the Reds' ace in Hunter Green. Hunter Green, who's having an incredible year. Hunter Green, who is actually going to have, as of right now, the highest WAR season ever the highest WAR season if we compare it to last year of any player in Major League Baseball. If you were to take Hunter Green's year right now in WAR, which is 1.1, and say, okay, we'll take it through the whole season. Let's say he starts 30 games instead of 3. He's going to be an 11 WAR player. Now, can he keep up how he's playing now? Probably not. 1.31 ERA, that's insane. But say he does. That'd be a better season than Juan Soto, a better season than Shohei Ohtani. That would be the highest WAR player in baseball last year. We are seeing Hunter Green turn into an ace in front of our very eyes. So Mlodzinski, Carmen, I hope that he brings his A game on Sunday at 1:40 because they are going to need it. But the Reds are facing 2 lefties this weekend. The Pirates are definitely putting together a roster to beat the Reds here. It's been our, I guess, kind of Achilles heel for a couple years now, facing lefties and batting against lefties. I think ever since we got rid of Castellanos, I feel like it's been a struggle against lefties. And even when he was on the team, that was like the one bat we had. I hope we can get right. I hope the Reds can get right today. The Reds need to get right today. The Reds need to win today. The Reds need to win and sweep the series to get back to 8-8. Because, yes, the Reds have always started poorly on the year, but if we could just not do that one time, if the Reds could just put together a good season one time, who knows what kind of team we could have. So overall, we have a 3-game series against the Pirates coming up, which we can get back to 500 on. We'll be commentating on the series come Tuesday in Reds Access and going further into detail on the games and upcoming games as well. But as you might know, we do Reds Recap, which is intended to be going over the last week or about future series, usually once a week, just kind of whenever I get the chance to do an extra video here or there, diving into a little bit deeper the projections and series we have coming up or just finished. So this week, again, Falter, Singer, Heaney, Abbott, Mlodzinski, Green. I give Singer the edge. I give Green the edge. I don't know what I'm going to get out of Andrew Abbott tomorrow. So hopefully the Reds take at least 2 of 3. On paper, it looks that way. And preferably take 3 of 3 and sweep the Pirates and leave this. And the Pirates go back to Pittsburgh at 5-11. The Reds, wave the Pirates off at 8-8. Back to 500 baseball. The question is, can this lineup get it done? Which we'll see because game time is in just about an hour of me finishing up this video. Had to wait, of course, for the lineup to get posted. So we'll see if this Reds lineup we're running out here is a lineup that can put on a show and a lineup that can give us a win and bring the folks home happy for City Connect Friday. I believe it's also Firework Friday. Assuming they're still doing it with all the flooding and everything, of course. But it is City Connect Friday, nevertheless, for the Cincinnati Reds. And that's going to wrap up our episode of Reds Recap. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back next week and Tuesday with more Reds breakdowns, hot takes, and everything you need to know about the Cincinnati Reds. Be sure to follow, subscribe, and comment to keep the conversation going with us. and keep the conversation going with us on social media as well at Reds Access, Reds _access on Instagram, and Reds Access Official on TikTok. Rounding third, heading for home, and hoping for a Reds sweep of the Pirates this weekend. For Kyler Osterberger, myself, Colin Arter, go Reds.